Hey, welcome back. This is JRTT Adventure. This time we're going to show you how to replace the roller on these traditional wooden panel. This will save you a lot of money if you have one of this at home. I have 6 of these panels to replace, and the material you can find it online or at the home improvement store. Let's just get some history on these Japanese Amado. Around Edo periods from 1603 to 1868, Amado have already become a common throughout Japan, especially in the region with strong seasonal weather, wind, rains, and snow. And when you're talking about a traditional Japanese house, it needs to have sliding door, shoji door, wooden panel, open veranda, lightweight structure, and Amado is one of the characteristics that you need to have. Not only that, Amado will help you as an outer protection layer shield your house from the typhoon, heavy rain, strong wind, flying object during the storm wind or typhoon. It's help a lot. That's why the Japanese people put this in place. So what are the materials used to make these Amado and what type of wood they use? The most three popular are cedar, cypress, and pine, but again, it's based on availability from the local craftsmen. These panels can be slid into a side pocket called tabukuro during the daytime, so at nighttime you can close it, or during the storm or winter storm you can close it, or heavy rain you can close into the side pocket. So here I replace the new roller. The tricky part is the north side of the wheel. You need to put a new support, new wooden filler, and then a U-shaped bracket to go through and hold the wheel, and then you put the screw through the wheel with that bracket and go through underneath of the wooden filler, so everything will be tight and secure. Hey, wait, you didn't show me how you did that. No worry, I have video cover that. This was the work completed from the night before, so today is a nice day. I'm gonna move outside and continue working on the panel, and we're gonna enjoy the view while doing these small repair. So the initial project was to replace all of this wooden panel with the metal, but after agree with the contractor, it will cost me about $6,000 US to do it. And the agreement was done, but then seemed like the carpenter is not able to perform the work due to some reason. So I decided, okay, let me try to replace it. And one of the first thing I did is replace the sill, which I previously covered on the previous video, and that is the first part that I need to do. And the second part is replacing this roller and to do a temporary fix, and hopefully these temporary fix will good for a while. Meanwhile, I'm gonna research and find out how I'm gonna replace the rotten area at the bottom of these panel, either buy a new piece of wood, make a new hole, and then reusing whatever I can as much as I can to save the cost. So here you see that I dismantling the old rotten wheel, rusted wheel, and expose the rotten area. Oh my god, this is so bad. As you can see, there's no support, and on the side there's no place for you to screw in anymore, so you have to make a new you gotta place that new filler in to have a support, and then put the new wooden new roller on top of it. And how you're going to secure it, that's a challenge part that in this kind of repairment. I don't have any experience with these before, or I'm doing any woodwork, so this is very fun and tough, and it's kind of fun that you got to think about what you got to do during this kind of DIY process. So as you can see, I'm struggling around trying to find, hey, is this the right way to do it? Is this, if I'm putting the wheel on top of this filter, is it going to work when I nail it down or screw it down? Is it protruding out too much? Because if it does, it's going to obstruct the or it's going to scrape the new wooden seal that I in place a couple weeks ago. So it's depend on your panel, how much is damaged, where are the rotten area, and where you need to replace it. But this is just a basic concept that's showing you, hey, you can reuse the panel. If it at this degree, I still able to manage to replace the wheel and then put the filler in and reuse the panel. So I hope that this gives you an idea where you can or cannot do it. In further down the clip, you will see that at some point that I cannot reuse in the same slot, I will have to make a new slot. So you're seeing here, should start to nail it down, and then the upper part is where you lack of support, and then you're gonna see at some point that it will not be able to hold it because there's no grip at the at the depth of it, or deep inside there's no grip for that thing to stay. I don't know what's the best term to describe this, but basically the run area eat away the support. So basically you put in the filler is where the support, but if the filler fill in, but at the bottom of it or beyond that, if there's nothing grip the filler, then you have no point of holding down everything, even the filler or the wheel. So you will see in a bit. So as I try to push it in, and it's just not holding, or it's not keeping the wheel in a straight line. Let's step away a little bit. I mentioned about why I went with the repair and why I chose wood, but not in detail. So first of all is preserve the look of it. As you can see, I have a wooden pocket there, and if I put the metal on, it will look awkward, right? Unless you change the box as well, and that's going to incur additional cost. With the wood material, you have a texture that gonna be make the traditional house more appealing, because it's gonna cover out your outside, right? And to me, the look is very important, and the texture is very very nice, make a very calm environment, and is blend well with the traditional house. So going back to the video, you see I'm struggling, and without the proper support, it's not going to stay no matter how much I try to screw it in, and it looked like the screw went in, but if the support on the bottom is not strong, it will pop back out, as you can see that I am trying to push it in. So this is just a way that I'm doing, but it's not the right way. You might find other way to go around it and then work on your panel. At some point, if for my case, at some point or close to this point, it's not working anymore. So what did you have to do next? You have to think about, okay, without this, you either have to remove the whole bottom piece of wood and remaking all that notch and reassemble with existing, which I don't have the tool at the moment. So the next thing is I have to measure the side of the wheel and make a new slot right below where the ruler at. And that way it can still be reusing. That piece of wood, it still can be reusing, and it will give me time to do research on how, if I have to replace the whole piece of wood, how am I going to do it? I have an idea, but that requires more time and effort to building those. And I'm not sure I have the time at the moment. So for those of you who have the same panel and you want to replace, this is just give you an idea of what need to do and what approach you can take. If you have more time, you can spend the time, build a new whole piece of panel, whole piece of wood at the bottom there, and then replace the whole thing. And that for sure is gonna last you over 10 years. Because based on the original owner, this house is 50 years and they never have to replace it, and this is the first time. So it's gonna last you 50 years. I don't think the metal will give you that lengthy time. It could be, but you have to repaint it. And sometimes it is rushed and it's gonna make hole, and I don't know. It's up to you to make that decision. And to me, to keep the traditional look and the keeping the existing material and reusing the existing material is the best option for me at this time. Since I only be here 2 or 3 times a year enjoying this vacation home until I can permanent retire and then be here full time, then I will look into a permanent way, either have the carpenter make me a new panel, or I myself personally will make a new panel. Since I have a resource, I know where to get the wood, the material, and I just have to find a router and some method that I can make some slot and cut some slot and some groove. So I think can be done, but it just it require more work. If someone be here for a whole month or 3 months, 6 months, I'm sure I can make thing out of it. So you see, I'm narrowing down the support, and this is just a FYI. You can nail it there; it will be good enough. But I decide to use the screw, and when you decide to screw, you have to know about this. When you screw it in, it will crack the wood. So it's up to you, but it does give you a strong grip. It doesn't matter if it's cracked because it just split the wood out and it's pressed against the side of the panel, which give you a stronger support. It's up to you. Just let you know that. But it will crack when you put in the screw. So these kind of small, I would say the width of it, you should use only the nail, not the screw. But if you use screw, just know that it will crack. And then if you don't have anything to hold it together, it will fall down. Just FYI. So here's another panel that I'm gonna go with the same method. And you see I already pre-cut a new hole, and then here's I'm putting the wood filler underneath the wheel to give us support. It flattened support, and then I put the screw on. It depends. You might need to cut a little bit longer than what the size is, so you can you can nail it down and then screw it down both. Okay, you're gonna see in a bit. So this is the new products. I would say brand new panel. How's that? Well, actually, brand new wheel. In this case, it's a metal wheel, and I do like it. The reason why I have mixture because I just want to try to see how it go. So this panel get 2 metal and new slot, and you see the existing is so bad. There's no support. So it seems like people have been working on this panel for quite several times. Here's the plastic wheel. You see the crack, and then at the bottom with the bracket. And then let's go take a look at another one. Same thing there. So as long as you can get the wheel on and it doesn't fall off, and is trying to get flush to the maybe 2 inch off the ground. I think 1.5 inches, 2 inch off the ground, you should be good. Please do test it out. So you see here's my the wooden sill that I replaced. At the bottom is the wood that go underneath that where I'm trying to clean up the snow. Yes, that area. So at this time, I cleaned the wood, cleaned the snow off, and this is just a temporary. I put it on, but in like about 2 weeks, my contractor come over and wrap the whole piece of wood with the actual metal sheet. Not metal sheet, I'm sorry. It's the copper sheet. This is the week that I'm here and I'm trying to replace the roller. And then my contractor come by about a week and he able to wrap the whole thing in copper. You see that I have some copper cover that, but that is the peel off cover tape. So you can buy that at home improvement store, and I put it there because at the moment I do not know if my you see something fell off. So this is one of the panel that gonna go it need TLC. I need some love and care. I need to rebuild this, but For now, I think it's doable. So go back to the copper wrap. It cost me about $800 to wrap the whole underneath sill right there where the panel is sitting on. So the reason why I cover it, you might want to go and find the video that I did on replacing that. And the reason why is that part was run from my previous video, and I don't want that to happen again. That's the reason why I pay an extra $800-900 to wrap the whole thing with copper. So this is my last panel and it's about to finish the job. And I have this around my house, and this is just one of the side that have the problem. The back is okay. And I also have the second floor, which I have a video out already that I replaced the whole panel, but reusing the frame structure. So if you haven't seen it, go back and check and look at my channel and you will find it. So that's about it. I decided not to nail down these guardrail because I'm thinking I don't know if this the permanent way I'm gonna do it, and then if I nail it down, the people who come and wrap the copper will have to you know remove it and nail it down. So at this point, I'm just gonna use the clamp and clamp it down for the moment. So for those of you who have a thought about buying a house in Japan, this is just my thought. Should you or should you not? And if you're not staying there permanent at the moment, should you not buying it, and what the outcome gonna be, how you gonna manage. So to my take is, if you can find a house with a good decent condition, then buy it. Okay, make sure you check thoroughly. Make sure you did some history, checking the roof, checking the floor, checking surrounding. That's very important. Even though you have the person who helped you, but they persuade by money, so don't completely trust it, but do your own inspection. That's the best. And then you know, based on your knowledge, based on your research, you can make a decision on whether it's a good deal or not. So secondly, any repair that's going to be involved in your house in Japan, it will be costly, substantially, I would say. So if you know how to do it yourself as most as you can, and then sub it out anything that you think is a bigger project for yourself. So that's one of the costs that you have to keep in mind that you will have to fix. Even though it's a nice house, but if it damaged a lot, you might not want it because it's going to cost you a couple hundred. And couple hundred is not like a perfect brand new. They might cover it up and then tape it over and do things that you might not realize that, hey, this is just a temporary fix. So I hope that helped, and hope you enjoyed the video. Please subscribe and see you soon.